Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Luck and this is Luck on the Street. Welcome to another episode of Fxd Up Anime, a series where I talk about anime, usually psychological thriller. This time we'll be talking about Paranoia Agent, a 13 episode anime that was made in 2004. If you haven't seen the anime and you don't like spoilers, this is a spoiler warning as I will be talking about the plot and there will be a bit of spoilers involved. But if you do not mind, feel free to watch and continue watching. This anime is centered around a phantom attacker called Little Slugger, also known as Shonen Bat. This is what he looks like in the beginning. So, the very first victim, Tsukiko Sagi, also here, is attacked one night by a mysterious attacker, Little Slugger, on inline skates and a long bat that is bent, a bent baseball bat. It's really important to note that Tsukiko Sagi is a mangaka and she created a very popular character now called Maromi. So this is what Maromi looks like. It's very important to keep Maromi in your head for later on. So after she's attacked, then more people start getting attacked. You know how would it be chronic? Repeat offenders do. They just keep going. There's like 4 more victims and then police finally catch a young teenager on inline skates with a bent baseball bat who fits the exact description, except it turns out it's not him because he dies in police custody, which is very unfortunate. We'll talk about that later. At that point, the main police officer gets fired from his job. There's a lot of issues going on, but the police who take over the case realize that what the victims have in common with each other is they were backed into a corner. Emotionally, they felt really overwhelmed, and then after the attack happened, they either didn't remember the pain and felt relief. So that was like a big issue. And so you might be asking, wait, how does a street attacker just randomly know who to target? They just randomly knows who's overwhelmed, because obviously I would be attacked. I'm in the middle of final season. How does one street attacker on inline skates and a baseball bat who dies in custody, matching the exact description mind you, how does this attacker just know people who are backed up into a corner, just know people who are on the verge of a mental breakdown? As the rumors get bigger and bigger, Little Slugger goes from looking like this to becoming more of a monstrous demon type thing. Yeah. So let me talk about a little bit more about the victims. One of the victims is a woman suffering from DID, or multiple personalities disorder, also called dissociative identity disorder, which is the actual name for the disorder. She is suffering from that because she finds out one of her alters, or I guess her only alter, is taking over her life, and her alter is actually a sex worker, and she has like a dual life, and that's really stressful for her, and that's how she gets cornered. Another one of the victims is a little boy, also wears gold inline skates, and kids at his school begin to think that it's him, and his popularity plummets as a result. Another victim is another little boy who is being picked on for being fat at school. And another victim is a really mediocre office worker at an animation company who ends up murdering all of the other staff in the business. As this starts to unravel, we're like, wait, if Little Slugger just attacks anyone with like mental breakdown issues, or just literally anyone, because it starts to be more and more, there's like gossips, and then he becomes bigger, and it all ties back to Tsukiko Sagi. It turns out that Little Slugger is he is an imagined attacker. This slugger doesn't actually exist. She created him when she was little as a result of her dad being way too strict. Because if we look into her memories and we realize that in her memories back when she was younger, she has drawings of a character who ended up inspiring Maromi, the creation of the little plush dog. And you also see in the corner a little drawing of little slugger. And so all of it ties back to Tsukiko Sagi. Maromi came into creation because Tsukiko Sagi, when she was younger, had a pet dog that she got from her father. And her father was a very strict man. One day she was walking her dog and she accidentally let go of the leash, and the dog as a result gets hit by a car. Maromi is the character inspired by her pet dog. It's a symbol of like the repression that she has, but also the slugger is the imagined street attacker she made up to get out of punishment from her dad. Even though her father went through lengths on ends to find the street attacker when she was 11 who killed her dog, he never found anything. Nothing ever came of it. Same thing is happening now with her getting attacked. The reason she got attacked in the first place is because she felt backed in a corner when she had to make a new character that was just as popular as Maromi. That's the entire plot. The final episode of the series, Tsukiko Sagi ends up defeating the slugger with Maromi, and the result is Japan is in rubble. That's it. That is the entire series. And now I want to discuss some of the issues I have with this show. I was really fascinated by this show. The entire 13 episodes, I felt really invested, even though it's very slow going and it was confusing at times. I really liked the intensity of it. I really liked how it made me really think. It didn't feel like nothing. The narrator in the majority of the episodes was very unreliable, and I really like that in stories. So that was like why it was really intriguing to me. Also, just like the idea of an attacker just going after everyone, and it turns out it's just them attacking themselves. That's pretty, yikes. It's like, what attacker goes after someone on the verge of a mental breakdown, My main issue is the fact that the slugger, the imagined shonen bat, is shown to be a young teenage black boy. I find a lot of issue with that, first of all, because he ends up not actually being the attacker. He doesn't do anything wrong. He's just a little kid obsessed with video games. I find a big issue with that because those are some racist undertones. Secondly, he turns into a demon, and as the show progresses, his figure is more monstrous, demon-like. What was the point? Why? Why was that the choice? Why was the only black character on the show the villain? I don't like that. And so that aside, that was a big issue I had with the show. On the other side, I have to think about like what this show is truly telling me. A lot of it has to do with repression, and the show is trying to tell you, the viewer, that repressing is really bad, and then you can end up exploding as a result. I just think it's really interesting how Tsukiko Sagi repressed her emotions so deep, repressed her guilt and trauma so deep that it ended up affecting all of Japan to an extreme level, actually, to a catastrophic level. But the fact that Maromi is also a part of that. Maromi is a symbol of the repression as well. Not only Shonen Bat, but Maromi. A lot of people took Maromi in as a comfort figure. Where Shonen Bat was demonized, Maromi was uplifted, and at the end they cancel each other out. It's very interesting though, because Maromi was giving everyone a false sense of security, a false sense of responsibility, that it's not your fault. And Moroni throughout the show continues to tell Tsukiko Sagi that it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault for killing her dog, and that was essentially where all of the guilt stemmed from. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. So if you want to watch that anime, feel free. But thank you for watching up to this far. I will be posting every Friday, I think, from now on, because if not, every other Friday, but from Fridays, that's the plan. Thank you so much for watching. I love you if you're new or old to this channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!